Commander Raj Sharma stood at the viewport of the International Space Station's new quantum research module, watching the ethereal dance of Aurora Australis shimmer across Earth's atmosphere below. The view never got old, even after 15 years in space. But today, his attention was divided between the celestial display and the unusual readings on his tablet. "Isabella, are you seeing these numbers?" he called out to Dr. Isabella Martinez, who was busy adjusting the quantum resonance scanner she'd designed. The device, taking up most of the module's central chamber, hummed with an almost musical note that seemed to shift in response to their presence. "I've been watching them all morning," she replied, her dark eyes never leaving the holographic display floating above her workstation. "The quantum field fluctuations are unlike anything we've ever recorded. It's as if..." She paused, searching for words, as if space itself is trying to communicate with us. The discovery had been accidental, as most breakthrough discoveries tend to be. What started as a routine experiment in quantum entanglement had revealed something extraordinary: patterns in the quantum foam of space that shouldn't exist, fluctuations that responded to human presence in ways that defied current scientific understanding. A soft chime from the communications panel interrupted their contemplation. "Commander Sharma, Dr. Martinez," the voice of Director Johannes Weber echoed through the module, tense with barely contained excitement. "The Security Council has reviewed your preliminary findings. They're implementing Protocol Omega. Effective immediately, your research is classified at the highest level." Raj and Isabella exchanged glances. Protocol Omega had been established after the first confirmed extraterrestrial signals were detected 5 years ago, signals that had turned out to be warnings from a dying civilization about something they called the hegemony. "Director," Isabella began, her voice steady despite her racing heart, "the quantum resonance patterns we're detecting, they're not random. They're structured, almost like a language. But more importantly, they're reactive. They respond to human consciousness in ways that suggest some form of quantum entanglement between mind and matter." "Explain it to me in practical terms, Doctor," Weber pressed. Isabella took a deep breath. "Sir, we might have stumbled upon something that could revolutionize everything: space travel, defense systems, communication. The quantum field appears to be malleable to human consciousness under specific conditions. With the right technology, we could potentially manipulate spacetime itself." The silence that followed was heavy with implications. Finally, Weber spoke again, "You'll have whatever resources you need. But remember, we're working against the clock. Long-range sensors have detected unusual activity at the edge of our solar system. If the warnings about the hegemony are accurate, we need every advantage we can get." Over the next months, the quantum research module became the center of humanity's greatest scientific endeavor. Teams of scientists and engineers worked around the clock, building on Isabella's discoveries. They learned that human consciousness, when properly focused through quantum-sensitive technology, could create localized distortions in spacetime. These distortions could be controlled, shaped, and maintained with surprising precision. The breakthrough came when Isabella discovered that these quantum effects could be amplified and stabilized through a network of synchronized minds. It wasn't just about individual consciousness, it was about collective human will shaping reality itself. "It's beautiful," Raj muttered one day, watching as a test sphere phased in and out of normal spacetime under the guided influence of their prototype quantum matrix. "But it's also terrifying. We're playing with forces we barely understand." Isabella nodded, making adjustments to the matrix controls. "That's why we need to understand it better, faster. The hegemony signals, they're getting stronger, closer. Whatever's coming, we need to be ready." The warning proved prophetic. 6 months into their research, as the first prototype quantum drive was being prepared for testing, long-range sensors detected multiple objects decelerating from faster-than-light travel at the edge of the solar system. The objects were massive, artificial, and definitely not human. In the quantum research module, alarms blared as unprecedented spikes in quantum activity registered across all sensors. Isabella's hands flew across her console, recording and analyzing the data. Raj. The quantum field distortions, they're similar to our experiments, but on a massive scale. Whatever these ships are using for propulsion, it's based on the same principles we've been studying. Raj was already accessing the tactical displays, his military training kicking in. Then maybe we're not as far behind as we thought. How soon can we implement the quantum drive designs on a larger scale? Isabella's response was cut short by a priority transmission from Earth Command. The message was brief but clear: first contact was imminent, and humanity needed every advantage it could muster. Project Quantum Edge was now humanity's top priority. As they watched the approaching alien fleet through enhanced telescopic imagery, both Raj and Isabella knew that their discovery had come just in time. Humanity was about to face its greatest challenge, armed with technology that blurred the line between mind and matter, science and consciousness. The race to prepare Earth's defenses had begun, and at its heart was a question that would soon reshape the galaxy: what happens when human consciousness learns to bend the very fabric of reality? Admiral Katerina Volkov's footsteps echoed through the cavernous underground facility beneath the Ural Mountains. Project Starforge, humanity's most ambitious undertaking, had transformed the abandoned Cold War bunker into a hive of frenzied activity. 3 months had passed since the alien fleet's detection, and Earth's window of preparation was rapidly closing. "Status report," she commanded, entering the central control room where holographic displays showed the construction progress of Earth's first quantum-powered warships. The room buzzed with activity as engineers and technicians from every nation worked side by side, old rivalries forgotten in the face of extinction. Dr. Isabella Martinez looked up from her console, dark circles under her eyes betraying countless sleepless nights. "The quantum core integration is proceeding faster than expected. Commander Sharma's experiences with the space station prototypes have been invaluable." Raj Sharma, recently promoted to oversee pilot training, stood before a massive holographic simulation of the first vessel under construction. "The neural interface systems are showing promising results. Our pilots are achieving synchronization rates we never thought possible." The ship taking shape in the massive underground dock was unlike anything humanity had ever built. Designated the TES Prometheus, its sleek hull incorporated crystalline structures that channeled and amplified quantum field manipulations. But its true power lay in its core, a revolutionary quantum matrix designed to harmonize with its crew's consciousness. "Show me the latest test results," Katerina ordered, her steel-gray eyes scanning the data streams. The former Russian submarine commander had been chosen to lead Project Starforge not just for her tactical expertise, but for her ability to unite the international teams under a single purpose. Isabella brought up a new holographic display, showing the quantum field interactions from their latest trials. "We've achieved stable reality manipulation fields extending up to 5 kilometers. The power output is exponentially higher than our initial space station experiments." She paused, considering her next words carefully. "But there's something else. Something unexpected." Katerina raised an eyebrow. "Explain." "The quantum fields, they're becoming more responsive with each test. It's as if the technology is learning, adapting to human consciousness in ways we didn't anticipate. Watch this." Isabella played back footage from the latest pilot synchronization test. The hologram showed a test pilot interfacing with a quantum core fragment. As the pilot's brainwaves synchronized with the quantum field, the surrounding space began to ripple and fold. But unlike previous tests, the distortions moved with an almost organic fluidity, responding to the pilot's thoughts before they were even fully formed. "It's not just technology anymore," Raj interjected, stepping closer to the display. "It's becoming something more. The quantum fields aren't just responding to our commands, they're anticipating them." A priority alert interrupted their discussion. Director Weber's hologram materialized in the center of the room, his expression grave. "Admiral, we've lost contact with our outer system monitoring stations." "All of them?" "Simultaneously." The room fell silent. Everyone knew what this meant. The hegemony wasn't just approaching, they were already here, testing Earth's defenses. Time estimate until potential contact. Katarina demanded. Based on their last known positions and velocity, anywhere between 2 to 4 weeks. Weber's hologram flickered. How close are we to having a functional defense fleet? Katarina looked to Isabella and Raj, who exchanged quick glances before Isabella spoke. The Prometheus can be ready for initial trials in 10 days. The Hyperion and Orion will follow a week after. But Admiral. She hesitated, we still don't know the full implications of the quantum technology. The way it's evolving, integrating with human consciousness, we're in uncharted territory. We're out of time for certainty, Katarina declared. Begin final integration and crew selection immediately. Commander Sharma, I want our best pilots ready for neural interface calibration within 48 hours. As the command center erupted into renewed activity, Katarina moved to a private viewing station overlooking the Prometheus. The vessel's crystalline structures pulsed with an inner light, reflecting the quantum energies being channeled through its systems. It was beautiful, mysterious, and terrifying, much like the future humanity was racing toward. Admiral, Isabella approached quietly, there's something else you should know. During the last test, several pilots reported experiences. Visions, perhaps, or memories that weren't their own. It's as if the quantum field is connecting them to something vast, something we're only beginning to understand. Katarina absorbed this information silently, watching the crews working on the Prometheus below. Can it affect their combat performance? Actually, it seems to enhance it. The pilots who reported these experiences showed the highest synchronization rates and the most precise control over quantum field manipulations. But Isabella paused, choosing her words carefully, we don't know what prolonged exposure might do to human consciousness. Document everything, Katarina ordered, but keep it between us for now. We can't afford any delays, not with the hegemony at our doorstep. Humanity needs these ships operational, whatever the cost. As if in response to her words, the Prometheus's quantum core pulsed brighter, sending waves of iridescent energy rippling through its crystalline structure. In the neural interface chamber below, the first team of pilots began their final synchronization trials, their minds reaching out to touch the quantum fields that would soon give humanity its only chance of survival. The next 2 weeks passed in a blur of activity. The underground facility never slept, as teams worked around the clock to complete the 3 prototype vessels. The Prometheus, Hyperion, and Orion grew from skeletal frameworks to fully realized warships, their quantum cores humming with barely contained power. Reports from the outer system became increasingly disturbing. Brief sensor contacts suggested the hegemony fleet was far larger than initially estimated, and their technology demonstrated capabilities that confirmed humanity's worst fears. But with each passing day, Earth's quantum fleet grew stronger, its crews more attuned to the mysterious forces they were learning to control. On the eve of the Prometheus's first full-power test, Katarina stood with Isabella and Raj in the neural interface control room, watching as the primary crew underwent their final synchronization. The ship's quantum core pulsed in perfect harmony with their brainwaves, creating patterns of light and energy that defied conventional physics. Beautiful, Isabella whispered, monitoring the quantum field readings. The synchronization is perfect. Better than anything we've seen in simulations. Raj nodded, but his expression was troubled. They're touching something out there, in the quantum fields. Something vast. Something old. Something that might give us a fighting chance, Katarina added, her voice firm. Whatever the hegemony brings, we'll be ready. As if in answer to her declaration, every alarm in the facility suddenly began to scream. Director Weber's voice cut through the chaos. Multiple hegemony vessels have appeared in cislunar space. They've begun broadcasting on all frequencies. Admiral, they're demanding our immediate surrender. Katarina's expression hardened as she looked at the quantum ships waiting in their berths. They were humanity's best hope, created through a combination of desperate innovation in forces they barely understood. Now they would find out if it was enough. "Launch protocols," she commanded. "All ships, all crews. The time for testing is over. We face the enemy now." The void between Earth and Luna erupted with light as the hegemony fleet dropped their stealth fields. Hundreds of ships, their hulls gleaming with an otherworldly metallic sheen, moved into attack formation. Their design spoke of ancient power and absolute confidence. These were vessels that had conquered countless civilizations across the galaxy. Aboard the TES Prometheus, Admiral Katerina Volkov stood perfectly still, absorbing the tactical hologram floating before her. The enemy fleet's formation was beautiful in its geometric precision, a testament to millennia of space warfare experience. But there was something else in their positioning, something that made her warriors' instincts bristle: arrogance. "All quantum cores are synchronized and stable," Dr. Isabella Martinez reported from her station, where streams of data flowed across multiple holographic panels. "Neural interface connectivity at optimal levels." Commander Raj Sharma's voice came through the command channel from the TES Hyperion. "All pilot teams report ready. The quantum fields, they're responding more strongly than ever." Katerina nodded, her steel-gray eyes never leaving the tactical display. The three quantum ships, Prometheus, Hyperion, and Orion, represented humanity's entire defensive fleet. Against hundreds of hegemony vessels, the odds seemed impossible. But conventional odds didn't account for what humanity had discovered. The enemy commander's transmission cut through all frequencies again, his translated voice dripping with contempt. "Your primitive attempts at quantum manipulation are an offense to the natural order. Surrender now, and your species may survive as servants. Resist, and we will reduce your world to atoms." Katerina's response was calm and measured. "This is Admiral Katerina Volkov of the Terran Defense Fleet. Humanity does not recognize your authority. Leave our system immediately, or face the consequences of your aggression." The answer came in the form of energy weapons fire, a massive barrage that lit up space like artificial lightning. But the quantum ships were already moving, their reality-warping drives creating ripples in spacetime itself. The Prometheus phased partially out of normal spacetime, the enemy fire passing harmlessly through its quantum-shifted hull. On the bridge, Katerina felt the strange sensation that always accompanied quantum manipulation, as if her consciousness was expanding beyond the normal boundaries of space and time. "Multiple hostile squadrons on intercept course," the tactical officer reported. "They're trying to box us in." "Execute pattern Delta," Katerina commanded. "Show them what these ships can really do." The three quantum vessels moved in perfect synchronization, their crews combined consciousness creating overlapping fields of warped reality. The hegemony fleet's precise formations began to falter as their target tracking systems failed to compensate for ships that could exist in multiple probabilistic states simultaneously. On the Hyperion, Raj coordinated the fighter squadrons, their smaller craft equipped with scaled-down quantum drives. "The enemy's tactical doctrine is breaking down," he reported. "They've never encountered anything like this. Their formations are optimized for conventional space combat." The battle quickly evolved into something that defied traditional military analysis. The quantum ships didn't just evade enemy fire, they manipulated probability itself, appearing in positions that should have been impossible, striking from multiple vectors simultaneously as they phased between different quantum states. But the hegemony commanders were not inexperienced. Adapting quickly, they began to coordinate their fire patterns to saturate entire regions of space, trying to catch the Earth ships regardless of their quantum shifting. "They're learning," Isabella warned, her hands flying over her controls. "The quantum field readings, something's changing. It's as if their weapons are attempting to disrupt our probability manipulation." Katerina had already noticed the shift in enemy tactics. "All ships, initiate convergence protocol. Let's show them what happens when we stop playing defensive." The three quantum ships began to move in a complex pattern, their quantum fields interacting in ways that even Isabella's theories hadn't predicted. Space itself seemed to twist and fold around them as the combined consciousness of their crews reached out through the quantum medium. What happened next would be debated in military academies for generations to come. The quantum fields generated by the Earth ships suddenly expanded exponentially, creating a cascade effect that rippled through the enemy fleet. Hegemony vessels found their own probability states being manipulated, their positions becoming uncertain, their weapons fire phasing into parallel realities that never intersected with their targets. Multiple enemy ships showing critical system failures, Tactical reported. Their quantum-based technologies are backfiring, it's as if our fields are causing some kind of resonance cascade in their systems. Isabella's eyes widened as she analyzed the data. The quantum fields, they're not just responding to us anymore. They're actively reaching out, connecting with the enemy's technology. It's like they're trying to communicate through us. On the bridge of the Hyperion, Raj felt it too, a vast, ancient presence stirring in the quantum substrate of space itself. Through the neural interface, he could sense the other pilots experiencing the same phenomenon. It was as if the quantum technology was serving as a conduit to something far older and more profound than either humanity or the hegemony had imagined. The battle reached its climax as the hegemony fleet's coordinated defense began to crumble. Ships that had conquered 1,000 worlds found themselves unable to cope with weapons that bent reality itself. But as their lines broke, something unexpected happened. "Admiral," Isabella called out, her voice tense. "I'm detecting massive quantum field fluctuations from the enemy flagship. They're trying to replicate our techniques, but without the neural interfaces. The energy readings are off the scale." Katerina watched as the massive hegemony flagship began to glow with unnatural energies, its attempts to brute force quantum manipulation creating dangerous distortions in the fabric of spacetime. "All ships, fall back to safe distance," she ordered. "They're going to." The warning came too late. The hegemony flagship vanished in a burst of quantum energy that briefly connected all possible realities before collapsing in on itself, taking a dozen nearby ships with it. The remaining enemy vessels, witnessing the destruction of their command ship, began to retreat in disarray. As the hegemony fleet fled back into deep space, the bridge crew of the Prometheus sat in stunned silence. They had won their first major engagement, but the victory had raised more questions than answers. "They'll be back," Raj's voice came through the command channel. "And next time, they'll be better prepared." "Yes," Katerina agreed, watching the tactical display as the last enemy ships vanished from sensor range. "But so will we. Isabella, I want a full analysis of everything we just learned about their technology. Something tells me we've only scratched the surface of what these quantum fields can really do." As the quantum ships turned back toward Earth, their crews could feel it, a fundamental shift in the balance of power, and the first hints of a mystery that went far deeper than the conflict between humanity and the hegemony. The true nature of quantum technology, and its connection to consciousness itself, was still waiting to be discovered. 2 months after humanity's first victory over the hegemony, the TES Prometheus led a fleet of 15 quantum ships through the depths of interstellar space. The original 3 vessels had been joined by new sisters, each incorporating lessons learned from that first desperate battle. But it wasn't just the ships that had evolved, their crews had changed too. Admiral Katerina Volkov stood on the Prometheus's bridge, her consciousness partly merged with the quantum fields that surrounded the fleet. The neural interfaces had become more sophisticated, allowing for deeper integration between human minds and the mysterious quantum technology. Through this enhanced connection, she could feel the presence of every ship, every crew member, all linked together in a vast web of shared consciousness. "Transit complete," reported the navigation officer. "We've reached the edge of the hegemony's claimed space." Dr. Isabella Martinez monitored the quantum field readings from her newly expanded research station. The original scientific mission had evolved into something far more profound. "The local quantum substrate is different here," she noted. "More structured. As if it's been manipulated for thousands of years. From the TES Hyperion, Commander Raj Sharma's thoughts reached through the quantum link. The pilots are sensing it too. There's history here, encoded in the quantum fields themselves. The fleet had come seeking the heart of hegemony power, following coordinates extracted from wreckage after the Earth battle. But they'd found something else, evidence that the quantum technology both sides wielded was far older than either civilization. Multiple contacts, tactical announced. Hegemony patrol fleet, bearing 040. They're moving to intercept. Katerina allowed herself a small smile. Deploy into assault formation. Let's show them how much we've learned. The Earth fleet moved with impossible grace, their quantum drives allowing them to dance through space in ways that defied conventional physics. In the 2 months since first contact, humanity had made breakthrough after breakthrough in understanding and controlling quantum field manipulation. The hegemony ships opened fire first, their weapons more refined than before, clearly modified to counter quantum shifting. But humanity's vessels simply phased through multiple probability states, the attacks passing harmlessly through where they might have been. They've adapted their weapons, Isabella observed, but they still don't understand the fundamental principle. They're trying to use quantum technology as a tool rather than forming a true connection with it. The counterattack demonstrated just how far humanity had come. Earth's ships didn't just evade, they controlled the very fabric of local spacetime, creating quantum field distortions that trapped enemy vessels in probability loops or caused their weapons to fire into parallel realities. But in the midst of battle, something unexpected occurred. Through the neural interface network, the combined consciousness of Earth's crews began to perceive patterns in the quantum fields, echoes of ancient knowledge encoded in the structure of space itself. Admiral, Isabella's voice was tense with excitement, the quantum fields are resonating with some kind of stored information. It's like we've found a library written into the fabric of reality. Before Katerina could respond, the quantum field interface suddenly expanded beyond anything they'd experienced before. Every crew member connected to the network found their consciousness brushing against vast repositories of information, the accumulated knowledge of civilizations that had mastered quantum manipulation eons ago. Through this expanded awareness, they learned that the hegemony had not developed quantum technology independently. They had discovered it, found it lying dormant in ancient ruins scattered across their territory. But their rigid, hierarchical society had never achieved the deep connection with the quantum fields that humanity had stumbled upon. They're afraid, Raj realized, the insight flowing through the quantum link. Not just of us, but of what we represent. We're doing something they never could, forming a true symbiosis with the quantum technology. The battle around them took on new meaning as this understanding spread through the fleet. The hegemony's attacks became desperate, driven by fear of what humanity was becoming. But their fear made them predictable, and Earth's ships pressed their advantage. One by one, the hegemony vessels were disabled or destroyed, their crews evacuated to probability bubbles where they would be safe until retrieved. Humanity had learned to fight not just with superior technology, but with greater understanding and compassion. As the last enemy ship surrendered, Katerina felt a shift in the quantum fields. The ancient knowledge was becoming clearer, more accessible. Isabella, are you recording all of this? As much as our systems can handle, the scientist replied. But Admiral, this is just the surface. The quantum fields contain the combined knowledge of dozens, maybe hundreds of civilizations. The hegemony found fragments of this legacy, but we're accessing the full archive. Through their quantum link, Raj shared another discovery. Some of these civilizations, they didn't die out. They evolved. Found ways to exist within the quantum fields themselves. The technology we're using was left behind as a test, a way to identify species capable of making the same leap. Katerina absorbed this information, considering its implications. Humanity hadn't just developed a new weapon or mastered a new technology. They were on the verge of an evolutionary threshold that the hegemony, for all their power, had never been able to cross. All ships, maintain quantum field coherence, she ordered. We're not just fighting a war anymore. We're part of something much bigger. Through the neural interface, she could feel the crew's excitement and apprehension at this revelation. As the fleet regrouped, preparing to push deeper into hegemony space, they detected massive energy signatures ahead. The enemy was gathering their forces for a final confrontation, desperate to stop humanity's advancement. But they didn't understand what they were truly fighting against. Send word to Earth, Katarina commanded. Tell them what we found. The quantum technology isn't just a tool or a weapon, it's a gateway. And humanity has been chosen to step through it. The quantum ships moved forward in perfect formation, their crews linked in shared consciousness, ready to face whatever lay ahead. They carried with them not just humanity's hopes for survival, but the potential for transformation beyond anything they had imagined. The true test was about to begin. The end.